How do we feel about Taiwan, Hassan? Are we China or not China?
That's the American policy. Whatever the American policy is, whatever the American perspective.
What's your opinion? You really won't say?
No, I'm saying it's like one country, two systems. You know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
Really?
This guy right here is Ethan Klein, who is a 超级左派的小彩虹, and he loves to cancel people on his show. But our main character is this guy, political commentator Hassan Piker, who is the ultimate 小彩虹 debater. He is not afraid to speak his mind and even give crazy takes like this.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. We fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude. We did. We fucking did.
And these two guys are really good friends to the point where they have their own show. And when it comes to the topic of Taiwan, they both seem to have a really, how do we call it? Interesting perspective.
Yeah. Really?
Taiwan and China.
Is that according to American foreign policy?
No, what's your opinion? Taiwan independent?
My opinion on Taiwan
Look at how hesitant he is to even give like a direct answer. 还要想好。
他其他的 debate 都可以很快说出来。
对 this you have to understand. This guy is someone who is really quick on his feet. He has all the facts, all the knowledge. He's done all the research, and he's very, very assertive and confident about his opinion. So for me, this almost seems like a completely different person.
My opinion on Taiwan is that Taiwan is the Chinese concept of Taiwan should remain in the hands of the people in Taiwan, who for the
thing right here when he says the Chinese concept of Taiwan should remain in the hands of the people. I think he didn't expect Ethan to actually call him out and ask him, hey, explain yourself. So he's off guard.
可以说进广告啊，你可以说让我们看一下广告。
And be like, 进广告，拜托。
For the record, for the most part, just believed to not disrupt the ongoing relations with.
Why are you being so carefully footed around?
Because I know that there's gonna be a subreddit. There's gonna be a subreddit post with like a million fucking comments being like, Hassan wants everyone in Taiwan to be killed because he loves China. He's the Xi Jinping.
That's what I
wait. So you're saying 我这么怕是因为我怕会有一个 subreddit 在攻击我的。You really care about subreddit things?
你都敢讲911呢
Yeah, with your 2.5 million followers, you care about what people on the subreddit say? Really, dog?
No, I was genuinely curious what you think about it.
At the end of the day, if the Taiwanese citizens would ever put this up for a vote and we're like, we want to fucking be an independent nation, it's up to them.
Could you say that every presidential election is pretty much a vote of whether or not you guys want to be independent?
我们一直都是啊。我觉得他假装不知道。
This is unlike him. It almost is kind of like he's compromised.
Yeah.
Consensus opinion is that they don't want to disrupt relations with China. Like obviously, if it was a situation between like full-blown independence versus like becoming a Chinese state, like becoming a part of the Chinese state.
Do the people of Taiwan like pay taxes in China?
I don't know the exact details of that.
He says, I don't know the exact details of that. So you're so sure it's one party, two systems, but you don't know how it actually works?
Yeah.
That's weird, dog.
你在讲什么东西啊
My man is
这个很矛盾欸，没有逻辑呀。
Do they have like travel status in China? The current administration of Taiwan maintains that Taiwan is already an independent country. This does not have to push for any sort of formal independence.
There are well, that's because they don't want to do like a full-blown.
Exactly.
They don't want to disrupt the status quo. That's why they're saying that.
Sure, they don't want to be invaded by China.
Well, that's part of it for sure. Taiwan has been a larger part of like China historically. And the original
Taiwan been a larger part of China?
没有，因为他的想法跟那个小粉红一样，他小粉红都说，我们不是 invade 哦，因为台湾本来就 belong China。
You are brothers.
对，所以我们只是把东西拿回来而已，我们不是 invasion。他跟小粉红一模一样啊。
It's almost like hey, we just want to reunite with you guys so we can be friends.
Taiwan is already independent. That's what I'm saying. People don't want a formal declaration just because they don't want a fucking war. But they're not wanting to be Hong Kong and be consumed by the Chinese party.
They don't want to be Hong Kong? What happened?
傻小，你在装嘛？荷兰呢？什么Jedi mind trick？
对啊，真的很像的。你看那个医生的脸，他都觉得你在攻他小。
Even him, that's a 彩虹问号。
彩虹问号 right here， 你在攻啥小？
真的。
Am I saying the right place?
Yeah.
You are
independent, and then they got fucking eaten.
They were not independent.
Oh, they were had some rights. They were less independent than Taiwan. Then they got eaten
Hong Kong
up.
was bought.
Are you saying the people of Hong Kong did not want to be?
There were certainly people that did not want to be a part of China.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
a few, right?
Yeah, that 5 million people.
Yeah, for our Hong Kong viewers, raise your hand if you
Yeah.
应该不多吧，但是
请留言。
帮我们举手一下，
请留言
留言一下。
100%
Lot,
correct.
most of them.
A lot of
the people there took a lot of
people
pride in
enjoyed,
being.
A lot of people enjoyed having Western civil liberties while simultaneously like being in a unique position. But now that
Some of you
China already
saying
does,
that, yeah, you Hong Kongese people, you enjoy like having a Western society while being in a unique position, meaning you were going to get owned by China anyway.
Yeah, unique position.
So this guy is speaking like literally like a talking head for the CCP.
你知道 unique position 很容易受伤，你知道吗？
真的，
有 regular
除了你
position
柔软度很好的话 that's why he only has one position, bending over. Bro.
now that China already does regular trade with the rest of the world, and there was always a timeline where Hong Kong was going to be given back to China. They just accelerated it by.
that's a
like,
song, eh?
Hey, you
Hey.
just accelerated by 2 decades. That's 20 years, yo. That's a whole generation and then some.
There were certainly a lot of people in Hong Kong that did not want
Regardless
to be a part
of
the
the-
Chinese state. But overall, if you look at the situation in Hong Kong right now, it's like they claimed that it was going to be devastating, and that
那
has
种
not
people
happened.
get in jail, yo.
Yeah, so just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean it's not as bad as what people projected it to be.
Yeah.
That has not happened.
Not that we know of, because they can't. They have no freedom of speech anymore.
Okay.
They can't talk. They lost
That
their
part
right.
is true. You're right.
What are we supposed to
I will
learn
not-
from that?
I will not.
They have secret prisons,
I
bro.
do not agree with China's social or civil liberties policies. I do not agree with that at all. So I don't live in China. I live in America. However,
How
having
convenient.
said that, you can just go to Hong Kong, and you can just go to every part of China pretty
You
much.
could just come to Taiwan.
Yeah.
See what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
The actual main topic is Taiwan. And you seem to have so much to say about how Taiwan thinks about a certain situation, but you come a mail like, "Whoa."
乱讲话。
Wow.
This is no longer like the North Korea style hermit kingdom where like no information comes out. Like
They
Quiet,
have
quiet,
rights.
quiet.
They don't have rights now. They lost a lot of rights. This is interesting that you're very soft-footed around the issue of China.
Very soft.
You love China.
Yeah.
If you love China so much, why don't
他
you
不可
marry?
能啊。
So he's teasing him in this point because it's very clear, my man, he seems really compromised.
他真的很喜欢 China。
I don't live there. I
他没有
choose to live
disagree,
here
huh?
because
He didn't
of
disagree at all.
the issues that you just brought up, which is civil liberties being taken away, no freedom of speech, walled garden internet. There are certainly parallels to the American state or the Western world that there are certainly comparisons that you could make, but overall, that kind of mechanism of control is one that I do not appreciate.
So when he says there are definitely comparisons to the Western world, what he's saying is that, like the argument I've seen is that, hey, but you Americans, you do this too, So you got my like
其
PP
实
我们的。
这个都是小粉红的那个讲话的方
It's
式。
100% 小粉红 the defense. We called him the ultimate 小彩虹, but I think we need to change him to 小粉红.
Yeah，
Sure.
小粉红好不好？
As far as like cruelty, oppression, like what you're talking about with respect to Hong Kong, the promises that Western media overall made about like how China was going to crush Hong Kong under its like ruthless, oppressive.
I don't think that was the point. I think the point was just that there's whoever was, vocal about wanting to maintain certain rights in Hong Kong was probably thrown in a secret prison and never heard from again.
They're not killed or anything.
Bro,
but-
what you're saying is like, hey, they're not being killed and it's not as bad as what the media said, so 应该还好吧? That's your defense?
Even then, it's like completely
They take
unacceptable.
out and
Yeah.
and they go for a beer and they don't come back. And it seems to me that the people of Taiwan want independence. So I'm right with you there, brother. Independence for Taiwan.
I think one nation, two systems.
哎，他超丢脸的。
And look, he don't even really touch his fist. Alright, you know what? Just say you're pro-China. It's okay if it's just say your position. Like if that's how you feel, just say it. 不要装。
不要装好不好？你要当我们敌人就来当啊！不要在那里装模作样好不好？
This is why we said it before. We're saying this is why you need to stay woke in the real sense. 'Cause there are people who zwang, and if you sleeping, they're gonna get you, dog.
One nation, two systems.
Yeah. The overwhelming majority of people living in Taiwan are still Han Chinese.
I'm not.
I'm not 120. 我有荷兰人的血统。I'm not 我原住民的血统啊那。
Yeah, you like Bruno Mars, dog.
Yeah, Bruno Mars.
Therefore, despite the fact that it's a separate country, it's still like the same people. The language is the same. People will say
Ukraine belongs to Russia for that exact reason.
I don't think Ukraine belongs to Russia. The Ukrainian nation-state project, there are similarities. You're not wrong about that. But the Ukrainian nation-state project as a well-defined nation-state has always been around for much longer than like Taiwan being an independent nation.
True. Yeah, since 1991年 right? So that's about 32 years. And what about Taiwan? How long has Taiwan been around? So 73年. By that metric, by those numbers, it seems like Taiwan is more independent than Ukraine, yo.
Yeah, double 我白讲
我白讲诶，
因为美不好哦。
这人是歹人诶，
这个叫做 propaganda.
What I'm hearing is that it's just a function of how old their culture is, how entitled they are to freedom. Well, it just seems like you're talking about like their they have some kind of national heritage or identity.
Especially existing under the construct of having like one nation state regardless, with freedom of travel in between. It's literally like a mile off the coast.
Yeah, you guys are just right there. I can see China from my house. What is this? So you're saying that because 距离不远，然后你们是同一个语言，你们都是汉人，所以是同一个国家吗？
我家旁边邻居很漂亮，那她是我老婆吗？
对
啊，什么鬼啦
I can see my neighbor's wife from my house.
Yeah, 公差小。
That's the real meaning of communism. What's yours is mine.
Having all of that factors into like whether there's going to be assimilation or not. And there's no need for assimilation even. They have like normal trade relations with Taiwan, you know what I mean? It's like, that's why it's considered to be a delicate political conversation, but one that currently the current system benefits both.
He says it's a delicate political conversation. You just think a delicate conversation?
对美国对你可能很 delicate， 因为美国、欧洲有自己的利益，但对台湾人而言很简单。
好像是很简单的。
对啊。
Like almost every Taiwanese person I've met is either on one side or the other. There's no like, 有一点矛盾呢。
没有矛盾好不好
So if China takes military action against Taiwan, as some people speculate may happen.
Yeah, I mean, that would not be good. I don't think that would be good. I think that would be really, really terrifying. It would be disruptive for the entire global economy as well.
Right, but I'm just mean like from whose army are you joining?
I'm moving to an undisclosed location.
I'm on the front.
I'm gonna be on a fucking ship.
Ethan said I'm on the front lines.
Yeah.
Dude, I do not agree with about 99.9% of the stuff Ethan Klein says.
Yeah.
This one, I agree.
Respect,
At least he's got some
respect.
balls. Man.
Whoever has the best computer chips.
Because that's where it's Pongish, right?
Yeah. How you gonna get your good shit with that NVIDIA, dog?
Yeah, give me SOD.
If it wasn't for America, China would have some pretty solid chip technology, but America's like regularly trying to stop that process. Like they went to the Netherlands to be like, you can't sell China your chip technology.
It doesn't play into his victimhood narrative.
而且他也没有提到说，那为什么中国不给 Facebook、Google 进去他们的国家？
对啊，
为什么不乱讲？
那不说啊。
那乱讲话好不好？
The polarization of this topic.
他脸很不爽。
Because the American media has been gearing people to be across the board like vicious, no matter what, to any foreign adversary. China being the main foreign adversary now.
It is.
So people are going to be very passionate in their defense and start saying, we care about the people in Taiwan. You're not talking about the people in Taiwan. You don't
So
care
it's
about
the media. If it weren't for the media's propaganda, people would not be siding with Taiwan.
Yeah.
Wow. So when we say stay woke, we're saying to stay woke for these type of YouTubers and streamers who like to use misinformation and confirmation bias just to make themselves sound right, when really they are installing concepts and propaganda into the minds of young people, dog.
Yeah.
Just like in Inception, they install those concepts several layers deep when you're barely even conscious and paying attention, dog.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know,
世界倒过来了。